You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 426 for Sunday, the 26th of September, 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Janie.
Hello there, Michelle, and how are we this very fine week?
We are good indeed, my lovely. And I was really good with the date this week because I normally have to think twice with the show number and the date, but it's 426 for the 26th. Da-da.
One of those weird anomalies where numbers coincide with dates.
Absolutely, so it was really good. We're nearly at that show 626.
Wow. Scary or not so scary or just weird.
And we're literally a couple of downloads away from getting our 500,000th listen. 500,000. Jane, that is a phenomenal thought. These people.
That is a bizarre thought, Michelle, that 500,000 listens to our dulcet tones.
I know. And bless each and every one of you, because without you, we'd just be sat talking to ourselves.
Which we probably are most times.
No.
Feels like it, doesn't it, Michelle, sometimes? We go off in our own little world, we do.
We do. And today we're trying to be focused because we're going to do many things under one banner.
Okay.
So we're going to continue my trip report type thing.
Yes.
But we're also going to build it in to help everybody who is planning a trip to Walt Disney World so that we can impart some knowledge to help you on your trip as well as telling you a bit about my trip. Does that seem okay?
Yeah. 2 for the price of 1.
It is. It's a bag and bonus show this week. And before I start, just a little bit of heads up there. Our members of the Disney Dream Girls podcast family, I'm going to be doing a bit of a giveaway. When I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, I was given an A4 sort of print, a lithograph, typey printy thing. Anyway, and I got 2 because I went to the party twice. So in the spirit of giving, the spare one I am going to offer to our listening public who follow us on the Disney Dream Girls podcast family. And I will be posting how many steps do you think Michelle did in her Walt Disney World holiday? This, along with guessing the weight of the case, are traditions of the Disney Dream Girls. So if you don't as yet follow us over there on the Disney Dream Girls podcast family on Facebook, hop on over because I'll be posting the link up any day now so that you can have a guess and you could win this, which only people going to the party can get.
I knew it was going to be a steps question.
Yeah, I know. I've got that and the case weight, but I don't think I recorded the case weight on the way back, so I don't think I'll be doing that. And plus, I cheated this time, and half of my things came back with Caroline anyway, so...
making use of other people's luggage. I don't know.
I know. And as of recording, I just wanted to wish Caroline a happy birthday because it's her birthday today.
Yay, happy birthday.
As of recording, anyway. Right, so, show Jane.
Yes, Michelle.
So, if you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World, food is an essential component because, let's be honest, I've said it before, the food is just something you do in between all the attractions, and the attractions are the side part, really.
I suppose so, Michelle, for some people. The food is can be very unique, and there's obviously lots of different ways that you can partake of food in Disney World, which is great because it means that no matter what your dining style or dining budget, there should be something to please you.
You hit the nail on the head there, Jane. First consideration is going to be a budget.
Especially nowadays.
Absolutely, because it could be that, you've not been for a while and you think, do you know what, let's blow it. Let's have an amazing time. It doesn't matter. Do you know what, I'm just going to squeeze in a quick trip to Walt Disney World and I'm on a bit of a budget and I don't really want to spend a lot of money, so I need to be considering that. So that's one big consideration, Jane, is your finances.
Definitely. Absolutely.
The next one is considering the members in your group, because if you like to meet characters, a dining breakfast option is a great way to go and meet characters while you eat. Keeps the kids entertained, you get fed, you get great pictures, and then you don't have to wait in the parks for the characters.
Yeah, no, it's a great option to have, say, especially if you've got the little ones, because I mean, I've done a few different variations, mainly in Disneyland Paris, and when the children were much, much younger, and especially if they're at that age where they might be a little bit afraid, I was going to say, a little bit nervous, shall we say, about meeting these oversized characters. I think in a dining environment it can be a little bit easier, because if they don't want to leave your lap or the table, then they don't have to, and it's a lot more comfortable experience for little ones.
Absolutely. And then obviously the next big consideration is, where are you staying to where are you going? So where's your hotel? And what park are you going to be at? Because, you know, there's no point saying, right, I'm going to be spending the day at the Magic Kingdom, but I'm going to go all the way over to the Animal Kingdom Hotel and go and eat at Boma, because that plan just doesn't quite work.
No, and I think this is kind of where people can fall down, isn't it? I think there's the element, I know we can seem a little bit obsessive sometimes, Michelle, and, you know, certain person who I'm talking to at this very moment in time likes the spreadsheets, do you not? But in your defence, Michelle, there's very good reason for spreadsheets, because if you are trying to cram in, and especially for the likes of us Brits who are going over for a short length of time or a 2-week length of time, or however long it's going to be, we want to get as much in that time frame as we possibly can. And what you don't want to be doing, like you've just said, Michelle, is getting your reservations not aligned with your parks, because you're going to be wasting time travelling between locations.
I think a lot of people, particularly first timers, don't realise the time that gets eaten up getting from park to resort to park again. So that is a big consideration, where you can sort of like start moving things around and thinking, right, okay, this is where I'm going to be going today. It works really well with that location. And then another thing as well, if you're a bit of a foodie like me, you might plan your dining first and then think what resort, because you know, you might think, oh, I've got to go to Kona Cafe because they have the macadamia nut pancakes, and that has got to be something that's non-negotiable on my trip.
Well, yeah, we all have our little routines. We all have our little must-dos, don't we? So there's that element to take into consideration. And I think also the element of, if you are going for your table dining service, just remember that you're going to have a meal that's not going to be a quick, 5 minutes in, 5 minutes out type of thing. So the impact of the time it's going to take you to have that meal and that experience, especially if we're talking characters, that can have on the rest of your day. Yeah,
completely. And you're also thinking, well, there's some of the parks don't really have a great deal of offerings available, particularly for breakfast.
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually, because we know there's so many restaurants around within the resorts and within the parks, and you just would presume that each park had something to offer in the way of breakfast. But actually, if you're looking for your character dining, that's not going to be the case.
So let's start with the Magic Kingdom and the offerings that we would recommend, or we can discuss a little bit about. So there is a character breakfast traditionally held at Crystal Palace, is there not, Jane?
There is, but I think this is one of those ones that at the moment has kind of fallen foul of the previous 2 years, where there's the characters haven't yet returned, although they have returned for the lunch and the dinner experience.
It is a great little meet, though, when it comes back fully, because you can get to meet Winnie Pooh and his 100 Acre Woods friends, and that's a great little way of getting all of those characters, because sometimes it's a quite challenge to meet all of them.
No, absolutely, and it's fingers crossed, because the lunch and dinner have come back, it would seem common sense that the breakfast returns to full capacity, so to speak.
Anywhere else in the Magic Kingdom that you would recommend, Jane?
You see, I'm not really much of a breakfast girl, Michelle, but I would be going anywhere that does a nice coffee and a pastry.
Well, you have your Starbucks on Main Street, USA. That's the top one.
Mm.
For me, I'd probably walk a little bit further into the park, and if you wanted something grabby and goey, there is always that cinnamon roll over at Gaston's Tavern.
I must admit that's kind of the one that is always in my head because obviously it used to be at the bakery back before it was Starbucks. So it's kind of like the closest you're gonna get by going old school if you go over to Gaston's.
Let's just have a little bit of nostalgia for the old Main Street Bakery where they had that giganormous skillet with this giganormous huge cinnamon roll thing, and they'd give you a little portion. Well, it wouldn't be little, it'd be huge, and then they'd pour all the extra icing on top. That's such happy memories, Jane.
Very, very, yeah.
But it's a trade-off. Do we want the Starbucks coffee or do we want the best cinnamon roll?
Well, yeah. And how long do you want to queue for the Starbucks coffee?
True. For me personally, if I'm going to Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom, I'd be looking to the 3 monorail resorts and thinking, what can I do there? The way I tend to work it is, I like to get into the park at road drop, get in and get some attractions done while the park is quieter because it makes sense, and then go for a little bit later breakfast at one of those eateries.
Makes sense, yes.
And that was our strategy when we hit Ohana for the breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Now at the moment, this is a fantastic deal. It's $25 per person plus tax and gratuity.
Not too shabby.
Obviously, when the Stitch character and Lilo character come in, it's back up to the full price. Let me talk to you a little bit about our experience because it was fantastic. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it.
Okay.
You get a skillet and it's everything you care to enjoy. So you get your scrambly eggs. You get your breakfast sausage links, Hawaiian-style ham, which is, good, with pineapple compote. You get some fried island-style potatoes, Mickey-shaped waffles, and biscuits. On top of that, they bring you some freshly made pineapple coconut bread, and then they bring you a bowl of fresh fruit as well.
So you make you think you're being healthy.
Yeah. And as you run out of things from that skillet, you can just say to your server, look, do you mind? Can I have a little bit more waffle? Or could I have some more of that delicious, amazing ham? Please, please, please.
Well, it isn't all you care to enjoy, isn't it?
It is indeed. And one top tip from me is, on the plant-based menu, because there is a plant-based Ohana menu where you can get a skillet if you do not wish to partake in any of the meaty goodness. They have on their menu as their offering, instead of the pineapple coconut breakfast bread, a cinnamon sugar donut.
Oh, I wonder why they get the donut and not with the other one. That's interesting.
Because it's plant-based, Jane.
I'm trying to figure out why the pineapple coconut isn't plant-based. But anyway, digress.
So I said to our server, I said, look, come a bit closer. I don't want everyone in the whole restaurant to hear this. But I'm very keen to try the cinnamon sugar donut on the plant-based menu. Would you mind? Of course, she obliged because Disney do. And it came with one of those little wooden sticks, the allergy sticks, in it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We cut it in half and we tried it. It was a tad heavy, I must admit. I probably could have... done with it being a little bit more of a lighter donut, but it was very tasty and it had that lovely cinnamony sugar coating on the outside. Made me really happy.
Can't beat cinnamon.
But the best thing about this breakfast offering is they have their version of the pug juice.
Oh, of course, yes.
And it's unlimited. So Shelley's there with a refillable mug, filling it up so that I had pog juice to go as well.
Nice.
Which it was incredibly nice, Jane. It was a great little breakfast, plenty to eat, beautiful surroundings, and for me, at $25, it is an absolute steal.
It's going to be interesting to see what the character price goes back up to when that reappears at the end of the month.
But the best bit was, after I'd eaten, and we were there maybe 50 minutes, we were able to get back on the monorail and back into the park without too much of a fuss. And that, to me, made our breakfast morning flow really well. Because you can have Ohana breakfast, I think, up to 11:30. I think our reservation was 11:45.
Right, okay.
So for me, that's a really good top tip, because you can get in quite a few reservations, and while you're there you can take advantage of the Wi-Fi and continue adding in your Genie Plus selections if you've paid for it. So I really enjoyed it. Caroline enjoyed it. We had a very full tummy, and it was a great start because it meant we didn't really get anything to eat on that day till much later on in the afternoon.
Yeah, like I say, it's a nice way to break your meals up. So again, from a budgeting point of view, it may mean that you don't end up having, the traditional 3 meals a day because you've kind of split your day. And also that element of, like you said, Michelle, you get in there, get your rope drop done, get all the rides that maybe are going to be long waits later on in the day. So make the best of both worlds, isn't it?
If you're ending up going after the characters are back and don't want to pay that $40-odd price, why not consider going down to Captain Cook's, because they have some amazing options on their menu, and one of them is the very loved Tonga Toast.
Yeah, I think it would be worth making a trip there just for the Tonga Toast anyway, wouldn't it not?
Absolutely. Banana stuffed sourdough bread, battered, deep fried, dusted with cinnamon sugar, and served with a choice of bacon or sausage for $10.49.
Yeah, get in there.
Fantastic. It is shareable, it's filling up the old tumpster, and it's something unique because you can only get the Tonga Toast at the Polynesian. If you want something more traditional, they do offer a range of other things, including Mickey waffles, which is a great option too.
Gotta have a Mickey waffle at some point.
And my top tip is go for the kids version because you get 2 sides and a milk or a water, $7.29. That's worthwhile. Now, at the moment, as we are recording, the much-loved Kona Cafe is closed, but that's another place that you can choose to go and have breakfast at in the Polynesian, and it isn't that long for you to travel from the Magic Kingdom over there as well, and I highly recommend there as well.
That's your macadamia nuts, isn't it?
It is. I didn't get to partake. Now, I do know at the moment, if you are like me and love the food from Kona Cafe, they are offering a mobile order, click and collect. So you type it in on your little app, what you'd like, and then you can go and collect it as well, which is brilliant. You don't have to miss out.
That's nice, though.
Yeah. Another option, first port of call, or first, should I say, hotel port of call from the Magic Kingdom is the Contemporary. Jane, talk to me a little bit about Chef Mickey's.
Well, Chef Mickey's is quintessential, I suppose, isn't it? It's kind of been there forever and a day. And obviously this is one of your character meets and greets. So you're going to get, let me think, who are you going to see at Chef Mickey's? Oh, would that be Chef Mickey then by any chance? Just being a little bit facetious there. But yeah, so Chef Mickey, you're going to see Mickey and all his friends, and it's going to cost you $42 for your adult and $27 for your child. It's kind of traditional sorts of breakfast options. You've got your eggs and your sausage and your waffles and your Mickey shaped waffles, obviously. You've got some slow roasted beef brisket. You've got pork sausage links and bacon. You can also then move on. You've got some banana bread French toast with espresso mascarpone cream. That does sound quite nice, actually. And toasted bananas and chocolate crumbles. I'm not normally a sweet girl, but that's kind of appealing to me. You can get a loaded potato cheese casserole. You can get a celebration Mickey pancake, because obviously it's the 50th happening at the moment. So there's lots of traditional breakfasty offerings on choice for you. And of course, you get to see Mickey. So, and it's in a fab location as well, to be fair, in that atrium.
True, it is indeed. I've eaten there, I think just the once at Chef Mickey's with the kids. They loved it. But listeners, you all know my thoughts on character meets and dining. I'm not a big fan of the photo drop with people behind me doing chewy things and all sorts. Yeah, I don't like that. So I'm going to bypass that option and I'm going
Okay.
to tell you a little bit about what I did when I ate at the Contemporary, because I had breakfast at Steakhouse 71.
Oh, now I've heard this is meant to be really good, Michelle.
It is really good. Now, I was really struggling on what to have, and I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to try something I have never had before. Because when I go and eat out, I don't want to try and have something that I have all the time.
No.
I don't want to try and eat something I can make better at home. So, I thought, right, I'm going to have something I've never tried in the hope I like it. And they have on their menu a Floridian Eggs Benedict.
Oh, okay.
2 poached eggs and crab cake with hollandaise atop of an English muffin with breakfast potatoes.
And how was it, Michelle?
The crab cake was so tasty, Jane. It really was. You could tell there was a lot of crab in it. The hollandaise was good. The eggs were just poached to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
However, I left the English muffins because I think if I would have picked them up and thrown them at a window, they might have smashed it.
Oh, dear. A little bit on the crispy side?
Well, there was hard, Jane.
Oh.
And I try not to eat a lot of carby things. So I did sort of put them to the side. I felt the price point of $19 was a little bit high, and maybe I should have gone down the route of Walt's prime rib hash. But never mind, I didn't. We all learned something.
But like you say, I think it's I'm a bit like you, Shell. When I'm eating out somewhere, there is that temptation you should try something that you wouldn't normally get a chance to eat.
Yeah. Now, Caroline had the Steakhouse 71 seasonal pancake, which was a chocolate chip. Jane, these were decadent, delicious, chocolatey, freshly made, perfection. So good. At $15, you could quite easily share this. And my top tip might be just to ask the server, like you would at Kona Cafe, could I just have one pancake and pay a little bit less, please?
Ah, yeah. Never know.
I found the restaurant to be, how can I say, like an upmarket ABC commissionery. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It wasn't as luxurious as Steakhouse 55 is in Disneyland.
Okay.
But it was more upmarket than your traditional sort of quick serve restaurants over in Walt Disney World. So I felt it wasn't fine dining, it was just dining.
Right, okay.
So if you wanted a breakfast that wasn't too stuffy, that was the place. It was so nice inside, but I kind of had my expectation a little bit higher for the level of finesse, and it just quite wasn't there.
Wasn't there. Okay.
It just, because everyone's quite crammed and people on other tables, perhaps their child was listening to their iPad without headphones, a little bit too loud for me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Small little gripe. But I enjoyed it. The food was good. The staff were particularly friendly and helpful. I know my friend Tommy was with us. He wanted the steak and eggs, and he said to the lady, I want my scrambled eggs with my steak really well done. In fact, practically burnt. Well, the first lot came out and they were a little bit under, so he wasn't quite happy. Well, they brought him another one.
Which is exactly how it should be.
Yep, that's perfect. So for me, definitely go try it out. Think and consider what you would like on the menu. And again, it's great. We got a late reservation for 11 o'clock, so it meant we'd been in the park for a couple of hours. We walked from the Magic Kingdom to the Contemporary, had something to eat, had a wander around the shop, got the monorail back, and it was just that nice little break from the crowds.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, nice.
Really loved it, Jane. Really did. So we've talked quite at length about the Magic Kingdom. I'm not going to talk at length about the other parks as much because, to be honest, there isn't a great deal to consider, really.
Particularly if you're talking characters, there's only a couple of places where you can actually get characters in the parks for breakfast anyway. At the moment, you've got Hollywood and Vine over at Hollywood Studios, and this is a Disney Junior play and dine, so that's going to be for your littlies, really. Otherwise, you're going to head over to Animal Kingdom's Tusker House, where you're going to get Donald and his friends. So that might be something that anybody who's a big fan of Donald Duck may want to take into consideration. So yeah, so you've got Animal Kingdom at one side, and then you've got Hollywood Studios, and that's it for in the park character dining at the moment now. Whether things will change or not, who knows, when as things, do start to come back open, because we have got expensive options like Cinderella's Royal Table at Magic Kingdom, but we've got nothing happening there as far as full-on characters go at the moment. And then there's also places like Akershus Royal Banquet Hall where it's just not available at all, where you would normally get to see your princesses. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they go forward and what does reopen, if at all.
Yeah. Mentioning Animal Kingdom, my top tip is to go to Kusafari Bakery, because they have a real range of really good on-the-go snacks, and you could grab something and then get into the queue for Kilimanjaro Safari, and by the time you get to the front of the line, you'd have eaten your breakfast and you're ready, and you're not going to miss out on any Animal Kingdom fun times. But there's also the Starbucks, you can grab something from there as well. There is Zuri's snack shop where there are bits and pieces, you might want to get something from there. So that's my top tip for Animal Kingdom. Now, if you are wanting a bit of a excursion, Boma does an amazing breakfast with lots of really different foods for the more adventurous palates out there. Again, that's another good one. You mentioned Hollywood Studios. Well, Caroline and I found a little gem there, Jane.
Oh, pray tell.
A little gem. Because if you go to Hollywood Scoops, you can ask for the Mickey-shaped waffles served with fresh blueberries, whipped cream and syrup for $9.49. And you get 3, count them, 3 Mickey waffles. Okay, they're the little small ones. But if your friend gets an ice cream and you do a mix and match, you can make yourself up a little couple of sundaes with Mickey waffles, and really, really nice fresh waffles as well. So that's a top tip for Hollywood Studios, because again, there isn't a great deal of places over at Hollywood Studios unless you're going to think about Starbucks, because we all know the carrot cake cookie is breakfast food, lunch food, afternoon tea food, dinner food, etc.
Any time of the day food.
Absolutely. I love myself a little bit of carrot cake cookie. Last but not least is Epcot.
Epcot. Yeah, what is Epcot, Michelle?
Most people go to the France Pavilion to get a croissant or a pastry or something like that, but the queues can get quite long. My top tip, and this is going to be, get into the International Gateway, plod yourself round to Norway, get yourself a school bread for breakfast from Kringla Bakery or Cafe, and get yourself into line and go ride the attraction. Because not many people think, oh, the attraction's going to be open at 9 o'clock. Well, this is a really good way to get a real big queue out of the way really quickly.
Yeah, nice one. And who doesn't love a school bread?
Everybody loves a school bread because it's breakfast, because we have bready things for breakfast.
Apparently we do, yes.
Absolutely we do. So that's it for thinking about in the theme parks. But what about the hotels? Well, I tried a new breakfast this trip, Jane.
Oh, okay. Where was this one?
This was over at the Beach Club at Cape May Cafe.
Ah, okay. Not somewhere I've been before.
This is another one that is offering these breakfasts at $25 because the characters aren't yet back.
Ah, so this is a good way to take advantage of this at the moment then, isn't it?
It is. We got table served a salted caramel beach buns with vanilla cream. Oh my word, sweet, sweet heaven. And then you go and help yourself, and there is a plethora of choice. There's your classic Benedicts, you know, your eggs Benedicts with your hollandaise. There's waffles and French toast. There's eggs, bacon, sausage. There's biscuits and gravy. Omelette station. There's a carving station for your delicious, yummy meats. It was such an array of different things. We did this on the last morning as we were heading off on our cruise, and we really got our money's worth. We were there just over an hour, and included in that was the coffee and tea as well. Really good, especially for those staying at the boardwalk resorts, to go get maybe an early breakfast before the park opens, get those tummies all nice and full, and then hit the park at opening to go wander around.
And with it being a buffet, Michelle, make sure you get your bang for your buck.
Absolutely. But the thing is, I'm not a fan of buffets in the fact that it's waiting for food. Sometimes food's been under the heat lamps for quite a time. Those sorts of things.
Yeah.
That carving station for the keto people out there. Oh my word! Just keep slicing, mate. Keep slicing. Just give me the joint of ham, please. Thank you very much.
That'd be me and Simon sorted then, wouldn't it?
Completely. Now, there are a lot of other places that you could go and dine in a hotel for your breakfast. Thinking over at the Riviera, you've got the Topolino's Terrace breakfast with this totally unique Mickey and Minnie outfits.
Yeah, they do look really cute, those outfits, I have to say. All the art-inspired affair, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good place for you to go. A lot of our deluxe hotels have these fantastic breakfasts. You know, there's the Ale and Compass, Trattoria Al Forno. They are fantastic options for you to go and enjoy.
I think it's that thing, isn't it, Michelle? Is remembering that there's all of these hotels out there, and therefore to look beyond. I think we can be a bit blinkers sometimes as far as breakfasts go, and think of it as just a grab and go option or a coffee on the go, or whatever it may well be, and focus for those dining options for lunch and dinner. Well, actually, you could get a really nice dining option at the beginning of the day if that was your thing and that's where you want. That might be cheaper, I suppose, as well than paying out for a lunch or dinner experience.
Yeah. Final shout out goes to the Grand Floridian Cafe. They have amazing options, and again, it's on the monorail loop. Don't overlook these hotels, guys, because you can also get on a little boat and go over to the Wilderness Lodge, and they have a great grab and go selection over there as well.
Yeah, lots and lots of options. Look wider than the parks.
But we'd like to hear from you. Where have you gone for your breakfast? Where would you recommend to other listeners? Please get in touch with us, info@disneydreamgirls.com, or on Disney Dream Girls Podcast Family over on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram @DisDreamGirls. Let us know. We would love to hear from you. Share your top tips with us so that we can share them back with everybody else. I'm now feeling hungry, Jane, after all that food talk.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the time of day that we're recording, neither of us have eaten yet either.
I could so do a Mickey waffle right now.
To be fair, Michelle, a Mickey waffle any time of the day on a full or an empty stomach is a no-brainer, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100% agreed, Jane. We are going to continue the discussion over on our podcast family page, so I will be posting something up. In the meantime, guys, look after yourself, keep yourself well, and we'll be back very soon. So it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.